Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is my February's installation of what's in my Boxycharm. So I don't have anything on my face right now. I do have a little bit of moisturizer actually, because there's some skincare stuff in here that we're going to try today. So I can't tell you the name of this month's box because I did not get the card that normally comes in my little box. That was kind of disappointing because I like reading about each product and knowing the price of each and just everything it mentions and stuff. So I'm not going to have any more information than what's on the package, what's visible on the package. So to get started, we're going to use these EVO Skin Aurora. I've been having like such difficulty saying that word, and now I get something with Aurora on it. Aurora. So I sound like a dog. These are the Refreshing Cleansing Hemp Wipes, and they have cannabis seed oil, balancing multifunctional anti-fatigue, and it says you just gently massage a wipe on your face in a circular motion, no need to rinse. So I have two wipe type things in my box. So I'm just going to use both of them. So with this, I haven't heard of this brand or seen it or anything before. So we're going to try it together. So it just looks like a regular wipey. Like a regular makeup wipe. So right off the bat, these feel a little soapy. Like, it's not like a slimy feeling, but almost, you know? It's kind of like super, it's more than slippery. It's like borderline slimy feeling. It's not like completely unpleasant. I don't really have anything on my face to know whether or not this is doing a great job of cleansing. I did have some lip balm on my lips and it did take that off. I forgot I had lip balm on. But I mean, as far as this goes, it feels like it's just a wipe. My skin actually feels pretty hydrated right now. So that's a bonus because it doesn't feel like it's drying my skin out. The next product in the box is from First Aid Beauty, and I absolutely love First Aid Beauty. I rave about their primer that I love, and everything, pretty much everything I've tried from them I really loved. So this is the Exfoliate, Tone, and Brighten Radiance Pads. Let's take this little thing out of it. It's got a little seal and it just looks like this inside, and it's just little individual wipes like that. It says on the package to wipe across your face, neck, décolletage twice a day after cleansing, and there is no more information on this, which is why I like having the little piece of paper, the little slip. But what it does say is super important to me because it says that it is alcohol free, which is a huge bonus because I do not like using alcohol on my face. And if you look at the ingredients on them, a lot of them have alcohol in them. So I'm assuming what exfoliates your skin is the bumpy texture that's on the pad, if you can see that. It's just got like a raised kind of bumpy feel to it. So I am going to re-moisturize my skin after doing that because, for one, it helps make your makeup look good. Two, your skin needs it, so moisturize. And whatever's left, I like to do a little ditty like this. So the next product in the box is going to be the Becca Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour Foundation, and this is in the shade Vanilla. Let me tell you about this shade. I didn't choose this shade, so I chose this as the option. This was February's choice. This is one of the things you could choose, and I chose, what was the shade? I think it was like olive or something like that. And I guess it was just a mistake, but I mean, I got the email that said they confirmed that I chose olive, and the olive honestly looked a little dark for my skin tone, but it was the only one that looked really yellow enough to really go with my skin. But I don't know if you can really tell on camera or not, but in the bottle and pumped out on my hand, this definitely looks a few shades lighter than my skin. So that's ordinarily not a problem if I have a foundation that's a little too light or a little too dark, because I can usually fix it with a little highlighter, concealer, not highlighter, I can usually fix it with a little concealer if it's too dark, and if it's too light you can always fix it with a little bit of bronzing, contouring and such. But this is so much lighter than my skin that I'm gonna have to mix another foundation with this to make it work. It says on the package, foundation redefined ultimate coverage in a surprisingly weightless and breathable cream. Oh, so this is cream. A perfectly balanced distribution of pigment and water at high concentrations allow the formula to adapt to all skin tones, lightweight, oil-free, second skin of undetectable, flexible coverage with a long-wearing finish. Okay, so this says ultimate coverage, so I'm going to assume based off that it's full coverage. I don't like full coverage stuff. That's just my preference. A lot of people love full coverage. I like to be medium to full at best. See, on camera, this isn't looking like it's crazy lighter than my skin. I'm wondering if I should just go for it without adding anything to it. So I think, okay, you know what? I think I am going to add just a touch of my regular foundation that's a little darker, and that's the Born This Way foundation in Golden Beige. Just to mix it up a little bit. I have too much on my hand, but you can see the difference between the two shades. So this consistency is definitely creamier than my Born This Way foundation, and it's a little thicker. I didn't realize that whole time I had a blob of moisturizer just sitting on my face, so if you just saw that previously, let's ignore it. So I'm just gonna do, oh yeah, this feels really thick. I don't know if I'm gonna like this or not. So I did add, like I showed you guys, just a dab of my darker regular foundation in this, but this still feels like it's not even the same consistency whatsoever as my regular foundation. It just feels like that cream consistency. So we can tell, like, right out the gate that this is really full coverage. Very full coverage. Very much more than I ever would normally wear. So even with that dab of my regular foundation in it, I still feel like it's just way too light. If I had on like a low cut shirt, you could really see how much lighter this feels like it is. But this is definitely some full coverage foundation, which, like I said, I don't really wear this kind of stuff. But the thing that's nice about it, I guess, is even though it's super full coverage, it does not feel full coverage necessarily. I can tell it's a little heavier than my regular foundation, but it doesn't feel like heavy. It doesn't feel like I'm wearing a mask on my face, which is what I really hate about full coverage foundation. Plus, I like the appearance of my skin looking more on the natural side than like a porcelain doll, you know? But like I said, everybody's different. Everybody likes different things. I don't know if you can tell or not on camera, but this definitely looks like it has a white cast to it. So, I mean, it looks nice. It doesn't really look cakey. It does look a little heavy, but it doesn't look like other full coverage foundations I've tried. If I had to compare this to something, I would compare it to the Estee Lauder Double Wear. It feels about like that, honestly, except that Double Wear is a lot runnier of a consistency and this is more thick. But on the skin, it feels about the same, honestly. I'm just going to go in with a little bit of concealer. So I've just went in and used a little bit of my concealer, and we're going to move on to the next product, which just so happens to be the Ciate London Everyday Vacay Coconut Setting Powder. So I wasn't super excited when I saw this because I don't really use setting powders. If I do, it's not until it's really hot and warm outside. But I love this packaging though, that blush pink with that gold, or it's rose gold rather. So let's see, this just says apply generously, no, to areas with concealer to bake and set makeup. I don't bake. Leave on for 3 to 5 minutes for a crease-free, soft focus finish. Lightly dust oil-prone areas with a fluffy brush. Okay, so on the side it says lock in makeup for a long-lasting wear and delicately coconut fragranced, which I love. Even though I don't like fragrance in my face products usually, but I do love coconut scent. It said it's supposed to be crease-free, soft focus, no flashback. Okay, usually these types of powders do have flashback, so we'll see what happens. So, okay, it's got a little protective film on it, if I can peel that off. And it's got a little sifter lid, of course. Satisfying sound. I can't smell anything, so it just looks like this. I smell no coconut. Okay, so let's take, if I go in with powder, it's going to be a really light amount of powder. So I'm going to take this really fluffy highlighting brush. This is very white. So I'm really curious to see if this is going to, oh my god, that does smell like, that smells so good. That does smell like coconuts. If anything, I'll like it for the coconut scent and nothing else. So I'm dusting over where I have that concealer. Okay, so right off the bat, it definitely took any shine that I had on my face. You can see the difference between these two sides. There's no shine over here right now. Let's do it on this half of where I have some concealer. So there, it's definitely like mattified that side. Almost a little too matte. But also it looks like it's a little blurring of my pores. It definitely looks like it's blurred my pores on this side with the powder. So I'm going to go in and lightly dust this side also. So I definitely feel like that was mattifying, and I feel like it really blurred my pores a lot. It does look just the slightest bit cakey, but I bet if I was to use that with my regular foundation, it wouldn't look so bad. So the last thing in the box is the Alamar Cosmetics, and I'm gonna assume brush trio because it's 3 brushes. And I really love that they came with these little protectors. It came in this little plastic baggie, but it came with these little protectors on it, which I love. So this first brush is a bronzer brush, a brightening brush, and a complexion brush. A complexion brush, so I could have used that for under my eyes. I bet I could use this for a contour brush. We're gonna try to use this for a contour brush. Some of the bristles are not even, and that is a pet peeve of mine. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, but there's one like rogue bristle that's longer than all the rest right there. He's bothering me. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of bronzer on this brush and see how it works. The bristles feel really soft. Doesn't look patchy. It looks very smooth actually. So far this brush feels really nice. It's very soft. I love the protectors that came on this. Excellent to use for traveling. So let's use this bronzer brush. Okay, so this has like a weird, can you see the texture of that? It's like a weird bumpy texture. And I'm assuming it's intentional because it definitely looks intentional. So this is a bronzer brush. I don't know why it's got that type of texture to it. Maybe if I had a little pamphlet, I could read it and tell you, but I guess I could just Google it because that's another thing you can do, right? Right. So we're going to take some bronzer from my Pure Bronze and Brighten palette, and we are just going to go in with this bronzing brush and see how this does. Ooh, no. Okay, so out the gate, no. So I like a much fluffier brush to apply bronzer with because I like having a lighter hand. This is not something I like. I might like this brush for something else, but not for bronzer. You see how it's just applying it so harsh no matter how light I'm trying to be with it? I feel like it's just too dense. It's just way too dense of a brush to like really blend it out. The brush I like to use normally to bronze with is this one right here because it's a lot fluffier, and the dome tip just, I feel like, diffuses it and makes it look better. It feels like this is just literally leaving that little imprint on the top on my face whenever I go and apply it. So this brush so far I'm not entirely crazy about. Maybe for something else, but definitely not for bronzer. The last brush is the brightening brush, so I'm going to use that for highlighter because that's what that means to me. So I'm going to use this Ofra Nikki Tutorials highlighter I've showed you guys. And just take a little. Well, that didn't take much effort. So I'm just going to take a little bit. So I feel like this definitely applies the highlighter a little more concentrated because it's a little more dense. But I mean, it's okay. I like it. So I feel like all in all, I feel like my pores are a little more pronounced than usual with either the foundation or the powder. I'm not entirely sure which one's causing it. But I feel like I have, you know, some patchiness over here with my bronzer from that brush. I just feel like it kept leaving that imprint in the top of the brush on my skin. So I definitely wouldn't use that again for bronzer. So as far as this month's box goes, it's kind of just iffy for me. I wish I would have got a better foundation shade. I didn't necessarily want to get two like face wipes in the same box, but I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, that's all for this look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe. I post every Tuesday and Thursday, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!